this is concerning, right? I mean, we're in a situation where we've got, it's almost like a developing nation's sort of political environment. Do you worry about where this could lead and how it could create further division within the country?
Yes, and that's why if I were a prosecutor, and I know Merrick Garland, he was a student at Harvard, he was a judge, he's a very able man, he's the Attorney General of the United States. I think he made a mistake of prosecuting Donald Trump. I argued in my book, Get Trump, that in order to prosecute, forget about a former president, a man running for president against the incumbent president of your party, if you're the Attorney General, in order to prosecute that kind of case, it has to meet what I call the Richard Nixon standard and the Hillary Clinton standard. Now, what's the Richard Nixon standard? He was so obviously guilty of destroying evidence and bribing witnesses that even his own party, the Republicans, turned against him. He would have been impeached, perhaps unanimously, by the Senate and the House of Representatives both, had he not resigned. That was such an overwhelming case. That Nixon standard hasn't been met. The next standard is the Clinton standard. She, too, took material home with her. She had a home server, and she did destroy some emails. She claimed they were private emails, and I believe her. I know Hillary Clinton. I've known her for years. I like her. I voted for her. I contributed to her campaign. I campaigned for her. I like her. I wish she had won the election, and I don't think she was guilty of any crime. But I do think that in order for Trump to be prosecuted legitimately, it has to be a more serious case than the one against Hillary Clinton, the one against Joe Biden, the one against Vice President Pence. And it's not clear to me that this case, which is really a paper case, possession of classified material, and a process case, dealing with his lawyers in a way that is the prosecution thinks was unfair. I don't think that rises to the level of the kind of prosecution you bring that interferes with an election. And that's what this does. It becomes the central point in an election. We have more important things to think about: relationships with China, the economy, high technology, so many things, the environment. And yet the issue in the next election will be who's more guilty, the Biden family or Trump? And now we have all this evidence against the Biden family. I hope it's not true. And I clearly operate under my own presumption of innocence, and I won't conclude that he's guilty unless I see overwhelming evidence. But there are allegedly tape recordings, and there's a laptop, and there's other evidence. So I think what we're going to see is a campaign in which the Democrats are going to say Trump's a crook, and the Republicans are going to say that Biden's a crook. And that is going to resonate with a lot of voters, unfortunately.
If you enjoyed that content, there's lots more where that came from. The Other Side Australia is back every Tuesday and Friday on ADH TV and all good podcast platforms. It's your weekly short circuit summary of the best news commentary from Australia and abroad. Don't miss it.